a glimpse of where we're headed. It's more and more transparency around the design and operations process, both for people, for owners, for designers, to understand more and more about their buildings. You know, if you look at this from this point of view, people are going to be the ones that affect change through their innovation, through basically their decision-making process, and their day-to-day routines that are ultimately influenced. But one of the things that's important about where we're headed to the future is not only the ability to be able to simulate and analyze and understand what's happening with our buildings. You're going to see that every building in the future is going to have that transparency by a model-based graphical approach. Be able to use that virtualization of a building that everybody understands. You know, they may not understand an Excel spreadsheet, they may not understand the other things, but they all understand their built environment. So that interface, that transparency is going to come through a model-based approach where everybody can look at the building and they can understand the temperatures and those kinds of things. And secondly, the next iteration is we're not just going to be talking about energy as the primary piece when we start talking about greening. We're really talking about measuring other types of environmental performance and the concepts of life cycle assessment to be able to look at buildings from a cradle-to-cradle perspective.
Right.
You know, we need to be able to understand the building's total performance, which includes what happens at end of life. How do we recycle? How do we reuse? Because when we start looking at both energy performance and environmental performance, we have to look at the totality of what
Right.
happens to that building throughout its life, because that's the reality of that's where we're spending money. So those are the things we're focusing on.